No, 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 no.
Hey everyone, we are at Zuvuyaland in Taupo and we are walking the Timetrack. We've walked in through the Timetrack energy and we're now walking out. We wanted to share our conversation and this beautiful space with you. So this is the central rock here in the very middle of the Timetrack. Just had a lie down on her back. And all these little spiraling spirals here. So Zuvuyuland was made by a lady called Vivian, I wish I knew her last name, but we'll get that at the end, and her husband. And they found this beautiful, beautiful land and have anchored in different energies that were here. And this is the Timetrack. So when I first came here, they had only placed the rocks, and the rocks held the Timetrack. And then about 20 years ago they planted these trees, which I find very upsetting that I'm old enough to have a whole forest having grown in my adult life. We won't dwell on that. So this is a spiral, and we were saying on the way in that as you walk the Timetrack you can choose to do a meditative journey, journeying back in time or forward in time. But what we hadn't sort of anticipated was that feeling of just going deeper into this moment in time, and how lovely it was, that feeling of going into a depth of time, and understanding the journey of time more completely, which was a message the Undines gave us during one of the water shifts, wasn't it? Was that what you were saying?
Yes, when they were explaining about their consciousness and the way to read their language, because you read one of their books, they were talking about, they said don't just read forward and backward and left and right and up and down, but there are other layers to their consciousness. Don't limit us was the end of it.
So when she's talking about their books, it was in one of the water freezes that Katie did. There was little strata layers. We might post that over the top of this video. That were like a book from the Undines giving us information. Oh, I love these things. Just hold on, let me just pick one of these because they're... Yeah, but I love sucking the honey out of them. I'll suck the honey out of them and have a Timetrack feast when we get back to the car.
I'd forgotten that. I used to do that as a child.
Yeah.
I love the fact that there are so many, it's completely carpeted by forget-me-nots either side of the Timetrack, which is not, the irony is not lost on us.
No.
And when I first started walking it, I felt like I was moving forward in time, but as we walked through the spiral, suddenly it shifted and I got the feeling that I was walking towards this present moment.
Yes.
So it felt as if time was fluid and shifting, so there is no such thing as time.
Time is an illusion.
Yeah. And then when I got to the beautiful rock in the middle and I lay on it, then two words came to me, which was just all time.
There's always this feeling with me of when I walk this Timetrack, there's always this feeling of going deeper into the heart. I don't know, it always makes my heart go into a depth of rhythm. Like in the back of my heart, I can feel that deeper sense of breath. I'm just going to introduce you to this particular rock because how stunning is that? Hello, little moss.
The moss is just beautiful.
I'm just going to say a quick hello. Hello, little mossy. I know I shouldn't play favourites with my rock friends, but, you know.
Are they saying anything to you?
They're just holding space. They each have sort of different libraries of wisdom. That's why I love the fact that these rocks were chosen, because they each have a library. And on a nice summer's day, there is nothing nicer than to come and just sit with each one and listen to their stories. But rocks tell stories very slowly. To get through this many stories takes a lot of time. This is the last ring.
Each tree is uniquely beautiful. Look at that. I mean, that one there looks like it's spreading its wings. That's gorgeous. The way the
Look at that.
are...
That's almost like it's got a face. We're just going to go off the time track for a second, which is never bodes well. But it's like little face fairies. It's just, if you're in Taupo, I highly recommend coming and checking this place out. It's I think it's Acacia Bay Drive, and at the top, just past the Tahara Retreat Centre. And that's the path up to the Violet Flame spot. I love the part that this part of the time track, which is almost at the beginning or the end, depending on which direction you're walking, is just darker.
Yes, and it's
like,
under the pine needles on the floor.
Yeah.
And no grass.
No grass.
Yeah.
And it's not darker as in energetically darker, it's darker as in depth. You know, if, like, the sun doesn't come through, the canopy's a bit more intense.
And it's definitely much more dense. It would be beautiful and cool in the summer.
Yeah, we really must come back in the summer.
We will. I'm sure we'll come back here.
You see the rocks around the outer circle are just a little bit more pronounced out here too. It really holds its space.
In fact, when you stand here and look around, you can really see the circle of it.
Yeah, I'll lift the camera up a bit so you can see it more clearly. It's just definitely one of my favourite spaces in the world. So there's a divine feminine and a divine masculine and the violet flame area here. Some very magical experiences in this space over the last 30-ish years.
Didn't you say the couple that found it felt those energies, which is one of the reasons they chose this particular piece of land? It wasn't as if the energies came once they built it.
No, this was definitely a sacred calling for them, and they bought this land deliberately for this work. If you can hear squeaking, it's because we're both wearing our water shoes.
After dipping our feet in Lake Taupo.
Just been down to the lake to put our feet in. A bit of a soundtrack. So this is the beginning and end of the time track. So that's the time track.